to have two sides to this, right? So one of the biggest things we do is we offer English as a second language (ESL) programs to local students. So our Peruvian students, our Costa Rican students, our Guatemalan students are here on campus at the Institute every day studying ESL with us. And then we have a whole study abroad, volunteer, service learning, internship side where we attract students from the United States, from Europe, from Canada, from Australia, China, South Korea, all sorts of places. And they come here to do, for example, to work with schools, to work with orphanages, to work in medical programs, to work with animal care programs, to help us with construction programs, etc., that we perform here in these developing countries. So they come down, and then, while those both sides are on campus, our local students and our international people, we organize all kinds of activities to actually bring them together, so that there's a whole intercultural exchange idea to it.
Wow, that's powerful. That's so powerful. And we touched a little bit on how millennials are changing the game, and also and you guys are bringing so much culture together. For me, that's the essence of like what I stand for on an international base, right? Because with me, like with social media, that's how I've come across so many different entities that have changed my life. Including the internet in general, because that's how I found I want to research, and it's some place where you feel safe, because let's address the elephant in the room, where people feel safe to come and to study abroad, because that's the one thing, when you're going to other countries, you just want to feel like you're somewhere safe. So guys, if you're thinking about coming to Guatemala, Peru, Costa Rica, Central America, this organization, Maddie J is putting a name on it. So this is the organization I would recommend, and because learning about culture, and I teach culture, I teach digital marketing, and so I think those two entities that you guys are providing people is a great nectar for people, a safe place for people to feel like they can come and learn about those things, and also expand their minds, and also expand realistically their customer base, because when you're teaching diverse languages, let's talk a little bit about that. When you're teaching diverse languages, how has that affected the consumer base for you guys? Like giving out that, because a lot of people don't do that when they talk about traveling, so how has that affected the growth of your company?
So I would put language and culture essentially at the heart of everything we do. So even if you're coming down and you're not necessarily here to study Spanish or to study English with us, we're going to get you involved at a local level. That's going to involve language, culture, knowing people, learning really an entirely, it broadens your context. It broadens your life view, your world view very quickly, very quickly. What else would you add to that?
It's a very immersive, just the way we run everything here is for people to come and be immersed. You are drenched in the culture. You have no choice but to go out and see the locals and to see the culture, and whether you're studying it or not, you're going to hear Spanish all day long. And it really helps, I think, our international students understand maybe a little bit more of why things are done differently in other parts of the world. It broadens the way that our personal experiences might have influenced us. It shows us a different way of life, right?
That's the part. It shows you a different way of life, and respecting one is so important to me. And you know what? I want to point out something, because I've also studied body language, but the way that Kim just handed that to you after he said something, it's the inclusion, and it just comes so naturally, to you guys. You're like, hey, what do you have to add to that? I love that. It's a family. It feels very family oriented. When I walked into the front, you were like, you're Madison. I'm like, hey, I am Madison. And so I love that. It feels very safe. It feels very inclusive, very loving, and very respectful to the diversity amongst the culture. So I want to, before we conclude this, I want to ask you guys, what is culture to you as individuals, and also as what you guys are paving the way for here, because you're literally pioneering something. Whether you sit back and really think about it, that's exactly what you're doing. You're pioneering the way for people to learn culture on an international level. So what is culture? So I can go into that for that. What is culture
culture really, I think it's identity, right? First and foremost, we all have our own culture, but I think culture is understanding others, understanding ourselves on a deeper level. It's our history, right? It's the history of the world. It's the way that development has happened in other countries. I think culture is language. I think culture is it's a lot of it's how people express themselves. It's a part of everyone's life. It's a part of every culture, every country. It's, as much as it is individualized and unique, it's also very welcoming and a part of growing and developing. So that's what culture is to me.
Ooh, I'm getting excited. Y'all see why I was having an anxiety attack at the beginning of this interview? It's just so much here. And Candy, what is culture to you?
Probably it's what I would call my lifelong pursuit. Right. So if you just look a little bit at my own journey or my own story, I left the United States back in 1998, and I haven't lived there since. And this was really finally when I had saved enough money and figured out how to kind of go out and pursue all these ideas that had been with me pretty much since around the age of 10 or 12.
Wow.
First I was in Europe, and then I was in Asia, and then I was in South America, and to me it's always just been something that I've been constantly curious about and kind of pursuing throughout my lifetime. Ultimately, it ended up with me being in Peru, married to a Peruvian woman, and having 2 children born in Peru, and essentially basing my life in Latin America now for, I've been in Latin America since 2002.
Wow.
So, to me, and it's still a lifetime pursuit. Even with the people that come and visit us and that take part in our programs, we get folks from all over the world. And so it's constantly, it just surrounds us, I think, all the time, right? It's very challenging sometimes, right? When you're constantly challenged with different ideas, different people, different backgrounds, etc.
Different obstacles.
Very
because
much
when you're pioneering something, like people don't talk about a lot of the hits to the blows that you take as a pioneer. Like you take some blows that aren't easy. They're very challenging. But what I've learned while you're taking those blows, they bring you so much strength. They bring you grace. And it's also, they make you in alignment for those that you're attracting to help you walk on that life's legacy that you're leaving in this lifetime. Because that's what it's about. I like to believe, this is one of my personal theories. I think that humans are after immortality, and we're afraid to be forgotten. And we want to leave something. We're seeking immortality. Don't forget me even if I'm no longer here. And so with that, the only thing that we can leave to really sustain that is our legacy. Like here's a Beyonce song. Shout out to Beyonce. It's called I Was Here. And we all want to have something that's like a representation of our essence being on this earth. We don't want to feel forgotten. And what you guys are creating is that legacy, and it's altering the lives of so many people. You guys know that Maddie J on the job, and these my new partners. I'm gonna claim it now. Y'all know it's only gonna grow from here. So this is me manifesting. It's about to go viral. It's about to go viral. But in all seriousness, well, that was serious. I was so serious. But what you guys are doing here is remarkable. And I thank you for having me, embracing me with this time and your energy to be amongst the legacy that you're building in the garden. As we discussed, the beginning tells, because that's what this is. It's just the beginning tells of your legacies as a collective, and also your legacies as separate entities. So we do have to conclude this at some point. I have to ask the question because it's only right. It's always the final question in my interviews, and it's always the Maddie J thing. What is spirituality to you? And the reason why I ask this question is because culture is the root of spirituality. I'm very interested, with both of your diverse backgrounds. Your wife is Peruvian. You're from Texas, and it's just there's so many essence, and you guys are all over Central America. So I'm very interested in when people are soul travelers is what I call it. The essence of what spirituality, not necessarily religion, but what is spirituality, and what does that essence look like to you on your soul journey?
So I would consider myself not religious but spiritual very much. I think it is very like I think spirituality is very individual. You can grow in a group, but I think it's mostly about getting to know yourself on a level that is different, right? It's you asking yourself questions. It's you pushing yourself. It's you growing and accepting, like you said, the blows that help you really understand yourself at a higher level. I think it's how you represent yourself. I think spirituality is how you view the world and how you want the world to be. And then your actions are based off of truly what your spirituality, what I would consider like your soul really wants to be.
Ooh, that was
what your soul really wants to do.
I like that's gonna be a quote. Like when we quote in this house, so y'all expect this one. That's gonna be like the Instagram promotional quote. Spirituality is honoring what your soul wants it to do, and then add her. So y'all remember this. So when y'all see that quote, y'all gonna be like, Madison is crazy, but hey, it's good marketing, so it works. So Ken, what is spiritual? I'm very interested because so I'm biracial, and being biracial, both ends of the spectrum. Sometimes it's very challenging for me in my spiritual roots, and I have so many family members that have been so many diverse religious backgrounds. So for me, spirituality is always like trying to figure out who I am because, in the case, and I can relate to younger kids, where it's like, sometimes one half of the culture doesn't feel like you're enough, and then the other half of the culture will feel like you're not enough because you're biracial enough. I don't like when people say half, like, oh, you're half this, you're half that. It's like, I'm a whole person, people. So, and when your life partner is a diverse religion, that's a completely diverse journey. So that's a different cultural essence. That's a different spiritual essence. So I'm very interested. I'm very interested. What is spirituality to you?
Yeah, I would just go back to what we had talked about with culture. It's a lifetime pursuit. And I think for me, it's really a matter of determining. I forget exactly how you just said it, but I love the way you said it. It's you finding your connection with the higher power, with the universe, and everything you do, hopefully, helps you connect the pieces where you can figure out how to connect yourself just a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. Spiritually, I'm a very different person than I was 20 years ago, and certainly more than 40 years ago. Right. But for us, it's a daily journey, and I think that in my particular case, my wife Giovanna has had such an effect, not necessarily religiously. She's quite religious, but spiritually, and whether I look at it necessarily through the lens of religion or through the lens of just what she and I do together every day, it's a heck of a journey, and we've connected and connected and connected, and that just the positive feelings you get from what we do, from where we live. I don't know where to take it from there. Those are the words that come to mind. I want to use that word that you used. You said it perfectly at the very end there. But look, I mean, living here and living outside of your comfort zone will help you get a lot more spiritual along the way. It's really an amazing. There are amazing steps that have happened, and I would encourage everybody to do it. Right, move out of your comfort zone, and it's amazing how much more and more and more comfortable you ultimately get.
Amen. Live out of your comfort zone. It's just always good to find like-minded spirits that believe in taking leaps of faith that you don't know where you're going to land. It's always like, my people! You always find your people when you're living outside that comfort zone. So it's a remarkable exchange of energy. And we all are here to help them. We all need one another. We all learn and we grow and we love. Team love, like love, that's what everything is about. That's what the life work comes down to. It's like, how can I make this world a better place through my legacy? And that's exactly what the two of you and the rest of you, because this is a whole organization. They have campuses around Central America. Okay, we got to give a shout out to the tribe. So if people wanted to, after this interview, because obviously it's blowing my mind as we're conducting it. So if my audience, J Royals, shout out to y'all. Y'all been rocking with me. I love y'all. If the J Royals wanted to keep up with you guys and keep up with your movement, how can they get involved with this quest of spirituality, culture, evolution, this quest of evolution with you guys?
Well, I mean, not to plug it too hard, but you can go to the website, right? So that's www.maximonavel.com. You can find us on Google. If you just Google up, we'll be there. But then come down, and it doesn't really cost a lot of money to come down here and do some of the basic things, right?
That is correct. That is correct. And before, my apologies for cutting you off, because I want to talk a little bit about price. It is very affordable to do this with you guys. It's very affordable. So that was one of the things that blew my mind. Yes. So check out the website. It is very, very affordable to be a part of this organization. Can you guys give them the exact website, social media handles, all of that?
Sure. So www.maximonavel.com. Should I spell that out, or?
Yes, go ahead. We'll be fancy for YouTube, and it's right here. As if you guys are watching on YouTube, it's right here on my hand.
So it's maximonavel.com.
There we go.
Yeah, that's the best place, and you'll find us on Facebook. You'll find us on Instagram. You'll find us on LinkedIn. You'll find us on Twitter. You'll find us on idealist.com and a few other things.
All over the world, because they are taking over the digital world and the reality world. Well, thank you guys so much. This has been, I'm happy that I'm here with you all. And it was giving me so much of like I always, before big things happen in my life, I always say when something, you hear something, right? But something in your soul says you're supposed to be doing it. And you take that leap of faith and you jump. And it's like, okay, I jumped, God, where's the parachute? I'm doing this, I'm trusting you. And then at that last second, the parachute appears. And then you have the easy way down. Where now the parachute has appeared, and I understand why my soul was so moved, and it was like, I have to see these people. This organization is too much. I have to play my part, just like you're playing your part. So thank you so much for your time, your energy, your love, and also your contribution to humanity in the evolution of our frequency to take us higher. Because we need it. We need more people like this. And J Royals, thank you for tuning into another episode. This is actually our first one back. In the final chapter of The Purple Print. Nyla will be back soon, everyone's favorite character from the future. And just thank you so much for your time, your energy, your trust, your respect, your love. And in preparation of Nyla returning after this commercial break, I'm going to give you all some marketing tools to help advance your business. But keep it locked right here, because this is The Madison J. Show. Okay, YouTube, thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate you. As you got to see, this is actually the behind-the-scenes part that usually goes more viral than anything else. But thank you so much for rocking right here on Madison JTV. If you want to see the full audio with these amazing beings of love and of light, you can go to iHeartRadio, you can go to Pandora, and any other place that your favorite podcast is on. Type in The Madison J Show, and guess what? You will get this amazing interview. Make sure you check out that website and see how you can get involved with shifting the culture forward in Central America. Well, you guys, keep it locked right here, because we have way more, including a meditation that I'm going to offer you guys from Guatemala, and a few other things, some marketing tips to help you elevate your business, your soul, and your experience on earth. Thank you all for trusting me with your time, your energy, your love, and your respect. Until next time, be loved, be light. Mwah. Okay, and that's